September 9th, I think. First pumpkin spice latte of the season. No regrets. Still Tuesday. I went to the doctor with Tech Advisor Azuki, did a few other things. Got about 45 minutes before I went to food shopping with the kid and went to the park. Got about 45 minutes before the end of Independent Play. This is the rough, which is almost tight pencil. Some of it is almost inks that I have printed out and taped to the backside of this sketchbook for a commission I got a couple months ago that is deliverable in San Francisco in about 2 weeks. So I'm going to ink it onto here, and what's good is I've actually taped it to the back of that. In a lot of ways, this is easier, well, in every way, this is easier than sketch cards, and also easier than the variant sketch cover I'm going to be doing, because it's just a direct, the only thing that makes it difficult is that it's in the sketchbook instead of a piece of Bristol that is separate, but it's a light box, using my light table, and here we go. This paper is not great. It's like sucking up the ink in a way that makes it difficult to draw on. This, like the knockoff Pigma color worked the best. But yeah, it's fine, but it's just really making it difficult to like ink properly. So we'll see how it goes, but it's going fairly quick. I think I can finish this the next day or two. Hopefully, maybe tonight. Maybe if I have a lot of energy, I'll work on it tonight. Here I go, I'm doing a thing. Got light box on my face. I'm drawing really fast, and it's going at a pace that's fast. Drawing for a few more seconds. This is probably more like an hour or whatever, but you're seeing it in a few seconds. Time lapse. Yeah. Actually worked on it a little bit more. Didn't get a ton done. I'm liking the way the pinkish hologram looks. We'll see how it looks when it's fully completed. I did have the idea that if it looks horrible, I could like ink over it with black. I don't want to do that, but that idea is in my head at least. My grandma died this morning. 12 o'clock, and I'm gonna leave in a minute. I spent about 2 hours and 20 minutes working on this Titanosaurus. I had wanted to do a big 11x17 print with 3 characters. I think I did a rough I showed before. I'm not even sure this is what it was gonna be, but it was gonna be these 3 characters. That's Titanosaurus, which is from Terror of Mechagodzilla, one of the actresses of which will be at San Francisco Godzilla Fest. And I have no art representing that other than, well, I do have Mechagodzilla and Godzilla, obviously. And I'm doing this as kind of a 9x6 small print, thinking that I could maybe get it done, not accidentally, but intentionally. I did work on the Micronauts a lot, and I'm confident I'll have that done in plenty of time, so I'm allowing myself to work on this. I think I can get the inks done relatively quick, maybe another hour or so. The colors, yeah, I think I can get this done today or tomorrow, but then can I reasonably get it printed and sent to the big dog before the show? I don't know. But I'm working on it regardless, and that's what's been going on. But I do got to get going to pick up the kid now, and then I'm going over to my mom's, and I'm going to go. I found a Target that I think has that Mario Kart I was looking for her for either, it was gonna be birthday, maybe it'll be Christmas, I don't know, but I'm gonna go get it because it's apparently 2 weeks ago you could get it on clearance, and now it's going for more than retail on eBay. So if I could find one even at retail, I guess is what I gotta do now, which is kind of depressing. But Mario Kart, my kid, yeah. Look at all these goats. There's a million goats. What is this? Goat world? What the goat? What the goat? So I worked on the Titanosaurus, and I worked on, I guess that's all I worked on. I worked on other things, but the way it worked out, I didn't get as much work done as I hoped at my mom's house, because I went and got the Mario Kart and I did some other stuff. Just dropped the kid off. We stayed a little longer so that Tech Advisor Azuki could have a break. She had to do doctor stuff yesterday, so she's still kind of not 100%. So I just left her there. They're playing some video games before bed. I'm going for a walk. Tomorrow, I think, well, I'm going to look at the printing schedule to see if I could get that picture done tonight and send it in. Will it arrive on time? If it will, then I'm going to get it done tonight and just stay up and do nothing else. If it won't, then I will take my time finishing it and see if I can get it printed locally. I also need to look into bags and boards for my prints and maybe getting those. I don't really need more, but it wouldn't hurt to have more. So if it wouldn't hurt to have more and I could get them sent to Alex, again, the big dog, anything I can get sent to his house saves me from having to either pay extra or have less room to bring what I need to the show in 2 weeks in San Francisco. So that's what I'm going to kind of work on. I got a lot of stuff piled up. I've kind of been catching up on my artwork stuff. but a lot of birthday party for the kids stuff is falling, behind, and school stuff for her, and like kid stuff, house stuff. I have to take a blood test, and just like lots of stuff that isn't like due tomorrow, but it's like all going to be due in the next week or two. I got to get it all done before I leave, and I'm leaving in less than 2 weeks. So that's starting to catch up on me. And a lot of it's just phone calls and stuff, but I just got to make the time to make that phone call, and I can't do it now because everything's closed. So I'm going for a walk. My grandmother died today, which is not as bad as it sounds. I had, up until 5 years ago, 3 of my grandparents were still alive. 6 years ago, I guess. And then, no, about 5 years ago. And my father's mother died when my kid was maybe just born. Maybe she was still pregnant. I don't remember. It's hard to remember exactly when. She had dementia, and she had progressive health problems and dementia, and they compounded with each other, and she was not herself by the end, and then she died. And that's essentially what just happened with my other grandmother. I still have one living grandfather who's 93, I think, and he's as there mentally as you can be at that age. Physically, he's starting to have a little trouble walking, but all things considered, well, he won. I mean, he's the one that's still here. His wife, my grandmother, who actually is my step-grandmother, although she's been my grandmother since I've been alive, so even though there's no blood, it's, indistinguishable. She was Italian. As far as I know, I don't have any Italian in me, but I'm kind of an eighth Italian culturally because I had an Italian grandma, since the time I was born. But anyway, she's dead. I'm making light of it, but I make light of everything. I loved her, and I wish she wasn't dead, but she was also 91, and she also had dementia, and she also had compounding health issues. She couldn't really walk after a while. She had several heart attacks, and it accelerated quickly. I feel like 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago, I was in New Jersey, and I saw them, and they were fine. And in that time, she had a couple health issues and started getting more and more forgetful and kind of saying weird things and doing weird things and a lot of stuff that you now recognize as early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever you want to call it. I don't remember her exact diagnosis. I don't know that she ever got one because by the time they realized something was going on, it didn't matter. She's losing her mind and there's nothing they could do to fix it. And my family historically doesn't do the right thing anyway. It's not like, well, we're going to be proactive and try this special medicines and go to therapy. No, it's just like, this is what it is. So, about 2 years ago, I'm losing track now, but I was back in New Jersey, brought my kids to New Jersey for the first time. We went and saw my grandparents, and she was noticeably not herself. She could still walk. She could still be in the house. She was talking. She was making jokes. It was unclear if she recognized people. It was unclear. You could have a decent conversation with her, and then she'd forget what happened the next minute. I feel like she was like 25% herself, maybe. Like 25% of her personality would shine through and be like, oh, that's the person I remember. She's making those jokes. She's giving that facial expression. And the rest of the time, she was coherent and could have conversations, but it was like, she seems different. She has like expressions I've never seen on her face. She doesn't, just a different person a little bit, but still a person. And within those 2 years, she pretty much stopped becoming a person. Especially the last few weeks, she's had several episodes. They were having had to get put in an assisted living home, and they were having to drug her all the time because she was having these episodes and like kind of hurt herself and hurt other people. And so when I say she died this morning or died, she was pronounced dead this morning. I don't know if it was last night or this morning. It's not like, oh no, I've lost my grandmother. I lost my grandmother a while ago, and people that have gone through this know this. And my family also has a bit of a dark sense of humor, and I am confident that she wouldn't be upset at me not being upset that she's gone. As a matter of fact, before she was fully gone, she was definitely one of those people that's like, I don't want to be here living. Is there some way we could be done with this? Like, she literally said these words when she was like halfway in there. And like, when I saw her, she was like, yeah, I've been telling him, like, I'm kind of ready to be dead, so with that knowledge, I think, I'm reacting appropriately. I'm very glad I got to see her a couple years ago. I'm very glad my daughter at least met her once. I have a picture with her. Not that it means anything to either of them, but it means something to me, And when I saw her and she had that glimmer of still being herself a little bit, I remember thinking something like, I'm never going to see her again. Even if I see her again, that's it. Like I saw a sliver of who she was, and that's it, So the fact that she's gone, it's a mercy. It's a mercy on my grandfather. It's a mercy on my uncle who's helping take care of them. It's a mercy on her being released from this life. And just, the downside is that she had such hardship towards the end of her life. But she lived a long life, and now she's gone. And that's That's fine, and I dare I say good that we're at this point. Yeah, the dog agrees. I love when dogs like stand in their house and bark at people. I've said this before without the sarcasm, so you know that's not true. Anyway, that's what's up. I checked, and with cat print, if I send it in tonight so that it'll go through first thing in the morning, I can get it there by Thursday, which is the cutoff I need to get it by. Not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, for like $12.50, which is $5 more than normal shipping. So that might be worth it. The argument being that, like, oh, if I sell 1 or 2 of these, that covers the shipping, whatever. After that, it couldn't guarantee to get there for less than like 20 or whatever. It starts to get much more expensive. So yeah, unless, barring something unforeseen when I get home, I'm gonna try to finish it tonight. That's my plan. And then, which is kind of good because tomorrow I don't plan on going out to a coffee shop or anything. I plan on doing a bunch of stuff around the house, phone calls, house stuff, things like that. And I could even, take a nap if I needed to, theoretically. So I'm gonna burn the midnight oil tonight to get that done for the show. And then, other than the Micronauts commission, which I can have done the day before I leave, I could even have it done on the plane. Like, actually I can have that done on the plane now that I think about it. Although I don't think I will. No, because I need a light box. Anyway, I've got more than a week to do that. So other than that, any artwork I do will then become not on a tight deadline. It'll be things that I need to do, want to do, but nothing that has to be done before the show. And I'll just be working on everything else that has to be done, not just before the show, but done before this Sunday, which is the party. That'll be my new focus starting tomorrow. Home, I've put another hour in inking. I'm doing a little bit of revisions. It's 10 o'clock. I don't know if I'm gonna go through with the plan. We're gonna see. I'm starting to get a little tired. I wanna get this done. I'm gonna keep working, but the plan, part of the plan was like, oh, well, I'll put a couple hours in, but I'm an hour in and I'm not done with inks. And traditionally, I'm not the fastest colorist, so I'm gonna get a drink. Faster. You too. It's almost 11. Still not done with the inks. I need several more hours to get it done, which I can maybe do, and maybe it'd be a good idea to. It would not be a healthy good idea to stay up. I was a little revved up. Take advice, Zuki wants to watch a little TV, and I do too, frankly. I'm gonna go do that, and yeah, I still might try to somehow get it done for the show, but I also am trying to remember past experience of like busting my butt to hurry up and finish and get a thing done for the show, blah, 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 and then it doesn't matter. I don't sell any. I sell 1, I sell 2. Hey, maybe I sell 10. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go hang out with my wife and get some sleep. Friday, just dropped off the kid. I don't regret not doing the art, but because I don't think I would have got it done, or I would have been up until 3 in the morning and I would have been stressed. But I woke up like, can I still do it? Let's figure out what's going on. I have all this stuff I need to do that is not this. But now it's hanging over my head because it's sort of kind of half done, more than half done. And if I don't finish it for the show, I'm going to have to finish it anyway. And it's like, that's part of the thing. I'm so slow, and it does, if I don't finish a thing, it just hangs over me. No matter how excited I am to begin with, it just becomes this thing that drags me down. So it's much better to push through and just get it done in a day or 2 and then move on to other things than to slowly parcel it out over a month and a half or whatever it turns out to be. All that being said, I looked, and it seems like shipping for cat print still will get it there Thursday at a reasonable price today. It didn't change from yesterday. So maybe I looked at it yesterday after the cutoff, which means maybe there's a cutoff during the day somewhere today. So I don't know. I'm going to the coffee shop. I had breakfast at home, but I'm going to just go get a cup of coffee and work on it. That's 30. I left the coffee shop. I did a solid hour of inking. Then I ran into someone I knew, and I worked for another hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, but there was a little bit of talking, so maybe that was an hour, unclear, but I got the inking done, got to do colors. Came home, I have about an hour-ish before I have to pick her up. Deal with this. We got these cupcakes for her birthday, and then I foolishly picked up the bag like this, and they all came out, and I'm gonna see if I could repair them. I gotta get more anyway, but now it's like, do I need 1 tray to finish, or do I need 2 trays? And they weren't cheap, it's a bummer, and she was excited about them, and the store I got them from at the time only had 1 tray. I went to the school this morning because they have this like display out front with kids' birthdays, names, and I really dislike this policy. It's a nice neighborhood and it's a well-funded school, but they're always looking for money, and it really bothers me. Like, I don't know what the solution is, but I wish there was a better solution, but they're always just looking for money. And I don't mind giving them money, but I wish it was like at the beginning of the year, like, hey, could you everybody give us $200 and then be done? You know, instead of all these little fundraisers and nickel and dime things. And one of them is, if you want your kid's name up on there, you have to go to the front office, submit it, and give them $5. last year I found this out. They don't tell you this. I just saw kids' names up there. I'm like, why isn't my kid's name up there? Like, oh, you got to go do this. It's like, okay, thanks for not telling me. And so as I was going this year, because now I know, I had $5 exactly cash. And I'm like, what if it's like 6 or 7 this year? So I grabbed another $10. It was $10. They had the same form with the 5 crossed out. $10. They doubled it. And I said, whoa, you doubled this since last year? And the lady at the other, she's like, I didn't double it. And I'm like, okay, well, the organization, whoever doubled it. I'm like, I thought maybe it might go up $1, but like doubling it? She's like, it's the PTC, which is like the PTA. She's like, so, you know, you might want to complain. And I might. Like, I really had no interest in getting involved in that. But I'm like, I have the $10. I literally brought it. But like, I don't think people should have to pay to have their kid's name put up on their birthday. Like it doesn't cost them anything. It's a digital sign. They just put it in, you know, and like maybe it's to defray the cost of the new monitor that they got last year, but then don't get the new monitor. They had an old one that was fine, or use other funding. I don't know. It bothers me because I know in my family back in the day, my name wouldn't have been on there. First of all, they wouldn't have even known it was a thing to do. And second of all, $5, $10, just put your name on that. Get out of here, you know. I think all kids' names should be up there for free, but they certainly shouldn't be doubling it. It's ridiculous. This has nothing to do with anything other than it bothers me. Also, I had to call Dairy Queen because her cake, which is supposed to have a picture on it, doesn't have the picture. And anyway, this is the stuff I'm doing now. 8:30 on Thursday. So I forget where I left off, but the inks are done on Titanosaurus. The colors are not. I ended up having today was a weird day. I had a ton of stuff to do in a lot of areas, and I did some of it, but I don't know, I just kind of got slowed down, and I went out with the kid and had a good day, being a good parent, and took her to the library and let her play and went to the store, but like just wasn't accomplishing things. And then got home and pretty much felt sick for about an hour and a half, which was the entirety of our independent play. Then it was dinner time, and I had to record the podcast to do. I think I mentioned it, my friend's podcast Tidbits, which I do every other week normally, but since I'm going to be away next week, I did it this week, and I had to think up a trivia thing, and just, I don't know, the day's gone. And so now I'm kind of in the same spot I was yesterday. Can I stay up and finish coloring this piece, or at least get it so close to being done that I can finish it first thing in the morning and send it out, so that now it'll get there Friday, which again is fine. There's just no buffer if it runs late. I'm going for a walk because I ate a pizza like an idiot. And yeah, that's where we're at. It's 10:17. I put about an hour into coloring. And as suspected, the coloring on this is difficult. Coming out okay. Actually, the gradients on the fins were the easiest part. The difficult part is the skin. The reference, it's sort of like sometimes it's bright red, sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's purple, and then there's like stripes of yellow, but maybe they're not stripes, and then there's pock marks on it. So I've kind of got a decent approximation of it, and that's where I am now. I'm gonna go get a drink. All right, about another hour of coloring. The figure is mostly done. I might want to put in a couple highlights. I'm messing around with the background now, so I think I'm gonna head to bed, and I guess I could finish this up first thing in the morning, hopefully, and still make it. But either way, it's 11:30, and then I gotta go to bed. Well, that's not even... Because like many of us, when I say go to bed, I mean go brush my teeth, get in bed, and then watch YouTube for a half hour. So, yeah. Friday morning, got the kid to school quite early. I've still been going to coffee shops, not every day, but I've been doing a better job this week of just getting a cup of coffee. I had a peanut butter sandwich at home, so I'm just gonna go get a latte. And my goal is to just see if I could finish this color. The problem is there's a lot of subjectivity and like what color in the background. I've even considered doing kind of a standard explosion. The main problem with that is it's very similar colors to the Titanosaurus. I also like the idea of having like a weird blue or an aqua or something. Maybe I'll do 2 versions and just see. But that's my goal, is to get that set up, set that print order in, get some bags and boards sent to the big dog, and then move on for my day from there. Tomorrow, I'm watching the kid all day. I volunteered this since I'm going to be away next weekend, and there's a local, it's a comic convention. It's a comic convention, but it's more like a local art festival in the downtown area. I went there last year. It's like free admission. I was actually offered a table. I keep getting text messages, which keeps turning off my video. That's annoying. You shouldn't do that. Prioritize phone. Anyway, I could have went there for free, got a table, but I didn't because I got a lot of stuff going on. I got the kids' party tomorrow. I'm leaving. And this time next week, I will be on my way to the airport. So I didn't have time to do another convention. But I will bring the kid there. We'll go get some toast. Last week, we went to Toast, which is my favorite brunch place. Forgot my wallet, but they were really cool about it. But I still owe them money. So I need to go in there and pay them the money and pay them again for this week. And that'll be the big day Saturday, just, hanging out with the kid all day. And then Sunday's the birthday party all day. So today's the last day I'll have a chance to do anything. Luckily, most of the birthday party I got squared away yesterday. I gotta pick up some cupcakes later. I gotta go do some coloring right now. And I do need a coffee. I had a decaf this morning, which isn't, it tasted nice. It tasted. So I'm done with the art. Going with the blue background. I did both versions. The blue, I feel like the blue this is something I struggle with. Blue makes no sense. Blue is maybe a better art color design choice, but it makes less sense. And that is usually the choice I don't make. But in this case, I think it'll pop more, especially because it's a smaller print. If it was a bigger print, I could maybe get away with it better. But that's what I'm going with. However, I wasn't able to put the order in because CapPrint won't let you do it on its mobile site. It's literally like, you gotta get it on a desktop or a laptop. So that's what I'm doing. I did put in the ReadyMat order. ReadyMat is where I get my bags and boards. That's on its way to the big dog. And I did one or two other little things, but I am worried that if I sit here too long, that the shipping postage will shift at some point today. So I'm gonna go home and put in the CapPrint order right away and then move on to other things. 12:30 Friday, I gotta pick the kid up. I leave in like 10-15 minutes. I took a shower, shaved, trimmed my nails. I set up an appointment to get some blood work done. I had a little snack. I did something else I can't remember. I think I'm gonna put a load of laundry in and get going in a minute. I've sort of been taking it easy, which isn't exactly true, but my stress levels have definitely gone down since I finished that and got those orders in. They're rising again because I have the party this weekend and I'm now like, I think everything's set, but I'm in a better place now than I was. And then after next weekend, when I'm back from the show, I'll have a lot of cleanup and catch up to do, but I feel like I'm gonna be in a really good place to just work on the horror and other things. I do have a bunch of sketch cards I gotta do. I'll never be done, which is good. I'd rather be busy than not busy. So I'm not complaining. I could be stressed out and happy at the same time. That is that's me. That's usually me. But my stress is mostly internal. You usually wouldn't know it if you saw me because I'm generally a happy out-go person, but a stressy in-man person. Yes. Yeah, so I'm gonna pick up the kid, pick up some cupcakes. But before that, I'll put a little laundry in. There's something I needed to do that I'm forgetting. Not a big thing, but I'm like, oh, here's the thing I'll do before I leave. And I just can't remember what it is. I have lists, but those lists have so many hundreds of things, I sometimes can't find the thing. In the bathroom, waiting for the kid to go, and I'm dancing to the song in a food store. Saturday morning, it's a little after 7. I'm on kid duty all day. She wants to play in her room before we do anything else. I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. I gave the cat some snacks. I'm gonna play with her a little bit. We're gonna go out to eat, and then we're gonna go to downtown where they're having a sort of small comic convention. I think I talked about that I was actually invited to have a table at, but with tomorrow being her party and me going away next week, it just didn't make any sense. Anyway, I was pretty pleased with myself for getting that Titanosaurus print done as much as as much as it wasn't a big deal, and then I made choices but I got it done. I'm happy about that. And then I watched a video with, an interview video for the show I'm gonna be doing, Godzilla Fest San Francisco next weekend. The people who run it have been doing little spotlight interviews on their channel of the vendors and artists and stuff, and I haven't been chosen as one of them, at least not yet. And so, of course, there's a small part of me that's like, hey, come on, I've been doing this with you forever. Why not? I'm on YouTube all the time. Why not? But I wasn't terribly upset about it. And then there was an interview with this guy named Matt Frank, who essentially has the career I wish I had. And he's a nice guy. I have no problems with him whatsoever. But there's, it's a twinge of, oh yeah, that's a reminder of what I'm not doing and the opportunities I'm not getting. And it's not because of him. It's a mixture of luck and my own problem. But it still doesn't feel good. And I'm like, oh, and he's gonna be there. And it's always a mix too, because I like his art actually as a fan, and I like him as a person. And he's good to have at a convention like this because he's a known Godzilla artist, like me. But it's always like, almost all conventions and art events I do, I don't feel like I'm in competition with people. But when I go to Godzilla events or Power Rangers events or places like that where it's a little bit more specialized, I literally am in competition with people. And even then, I'm not too worried because I have a certain level of skill and, more than that in my style. But there's a few artists that my style isn't too far from. And if you're looking for that style, they're better or more famous at least. and he's one of them. And just today, they announced Arthur Adams is going to be there. Arthur Adams, one of my favorite artists of all times, also known as a Godzilla artist. I'm not friends with him, but I've talked to him several times. I like him as a person too. And I just got done watching an interview with him where I had the same thing I had with Matt Frank, but like I should have been born a little earlier and had Art Adams' career, and I want to be him when I grow up. And so it's similar, like, oh, that's so cool, he's going to be there. I'm like, oh, no one's going to care about me. Who's going to care about me? And I also want to work with both of them. I've approached both of them about doing covers for my book with not great success. So it's a mixed thing where it's like they're like the cool kids, they're the popular girls that I desperately want them to like me, I want them to want to work with me, I want to be them, but there's a part of me that's like, I wish they weren't going to be there. And this is kind of crappy to say, and it's early morning, I'm just being honest, that I saw that and I was like, oh man, which makes no sense, because at San Diego Comic-Con I was thrilled to see Art Adams, but I was like there as a fan, not as a peer, because I'm not a peer, I'm just another guy at the con, Oh, woe is me. The emotions go up and go down. Confidence surges. I'm so great. Oh, I'm the worst. Why do I bother? Yes.
Picture.
Yay! Take a picture. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Hi, guys. Good. Like the indoor mania. We got a couple of Star Wars cosplayers mixed in here, but check this out. Tech from Bad Batch. That is excellent. Whoa, do you see any ducks? I see some colors, some rainbow. What the? Ooh, there's rainbow color. Ooh. It's doing something. I see a duck on the window. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I wonder if we'll see another, if it was just a one-time duck. Oh, look at this. On the screen, you can see what's happening. Red indeed. It's 8 o'clock on Saturday. It's been a big, long, fun day. Went to the comic convention, did a lot of stuff with the kid, and managed to squeeze in an hour and a half or so, maybe a little less of work. Maybe between an hour and 2 hours on the Micronauts. Surprised I finished it. There are things I'm unhappy with that didn't quite work out the way I wanted to, and the way the ink fell a little bit. But generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with it. And I feel like this could be a Micronauts cover, which is exactly what I was going for. Yeah, so I might even clean it up and try to, I'm making a gallery of like potential variant cover or cover artwork stuff I've done, and maybe I'll throw this in there as one of them. It's Sunday, and it's the kid's birthday party, so I'm at Pump It Up. I'm pumping it up. Now we're here. It's time to party. It is Sunday, almost dinner time. I've got a little cat over here snoozing. Previously, I had the kid and tech advisor Urzuki. We just got done watching Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time as a family, which is something that has been coming for like 2 years. But the kid was like really into the idea of it, but maybe too young to watch it. So now that she's turning 6 in 4 days, it was time, and she loved it, and it was great. We had the Pump It Up party earlier. We opened some presents. We did a bunch of stuff. We're kind of having a family day. It's nice and chill right now. We're gonna have some Wendy's with the Wednesday theme. You notice a spooky theme going through here for the kid. Yeah, I don't know. I put up a post about maybe doing some commissions for the show this week and next week, whatever. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty chill. Monday morning. Watched K-Pop Demon Hunters last night, finally. It's as good as everybody says. I liked it. It was good. I recommend it. So the big kid party is over. My extra duty Saturday is over. We got 4 days. I'm leaving Friday, first thing in the morning after. Basically this time Friday, I will be, I'll be about to drop her off at school and head to the airport. So, but before then, we have a little family party on Thursday I have to be ready for. I have to get ready for the show, have a few other things. I'm very tired. I'm not burnt out exactly, but I am tired. It's been going, and then I got more going. I'm looking forward to the show, but I'm not looking forward to the next few days of planning it and getting it ready and stuff. Yeah, I better plan and get ready for this morning. Driving to the coffee shop Monday still. I'm I'm having trouble knowing where to focus, and this is true a lot of times. Not just with my like everyday stuff, like, ooh, I got to call the person about the leak in our sprinkler system, and I got to call about whatever else, life stuff. I always am like, oh, what's the priority there? But then also just art, and I've talked about this before. It's like I feel like, okay, I'm going to this show, so I should prioritize getting all that stuff ready. But I should prioritize getting commissions. But how do I get commissions? But well, I should prioritize working on the Horror A4. Well, I should prioritize getting my TikTok shop. The place where you put stuff that sounds like a clock. My TikTok shop, I hate saying that, set up, because I've been working on that and I have it set up and I've listed 2 things, but I tried to list a 3rd thing for like 45 minutes and couldn't figure it out. And then I think you can't do it on your phone. You have to do it on the computer, like on a desktop or a laptop, unless you have 1,000 followers, I think. And then there's a way you can add it to videos. So I'm like, oh, well, I have videos of my art process, so I'll add it to those, but only up to 30 days, unless maybe you're on your desktop, I think. And then I managed to link, I had a process video for one of the prints, so I linked it to that. And then I got some kind of weird monetization fraud scam, because they're like, well, you just have a picture. You need a video. You need to show the product. And I'm like, it's a process video of the art. And at the end, I have like 3 seconds showing the art. What are you talking about? And that's another thing I've found, that I don't know how many people sell art specifically, like art prints on TikTok. It's been the hardest thing. I mean, I'm on Etsy and I'm on eBay and I'm on a few other places. TikTok shop has been the hardest thing to set up of any of these that I've ever done. They require more paperwork, more back and forth, more secondary programs to be downloaded and installed. And they don't have a category for art, and they don't have easy listings, because then they're like, well, what's the issue? I'm like, well, I want to say it's art, and that's not a choice, or I want to say it's a print, and that's not a choice. Anyway, I went on a tangent on TikTok and TikTok shop, but the point is, I'm going to get to the coffee shop and have some breakfast, and I'm going to do a couple phone calls and follow up on a few real life things, and then try to see what my focus is for art. All right, so I'm leaving the coffee shop. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought maybe I'd come here, work for a minute, and then leave, but I got doing this Jet Jaguar piece that might be a print. Maybe I'll turn it into a traditional piece of art. I don't even know, but I spent about 2 hours on it. And this is something that I've been discovering about myself, is like the layout and the rough, like I usually get done pretty quick. And then it's the refine forever. So I'm in the refine period phase, and I keep redrawing the legs and feet and stuff because I'm having a hard time with it. But we have a leak, and they were gonna come between 1 and 2 today. I got that squared away this morning, and then they just called and said I could be there right now. So now I'm running home to meet them to get that taken care of. Yeah. Anybody hasn't seen these, the Monster cereals this year, they've been doing a lot of interesting stuff with art, and like one year they had Jim Lee design them and stuff, but this was Jim Henson's Muppet Shop actually made Muppet ones. Night. Felt like a weirdly long day. I don't know. Everything's fine. Didn't get as much done as I'd like to. Tomorrow, I may or may not pick up a coffee after I drop the kid off. But I'm definitely not going to a coffee shop because I have tons of work to do at home, including wrapping presents and everything I said before. I did work on that Jet Jaguar a bit more, maybe between 2 and 3 hours total. And it's like, pencils are done, but I'm not happy with the feet and the legs. And I don't know, it's one of those ones I've talked about before where there are aspects of it that came together easier than I thought, and aspects that have just been like redrawing 50,000 times. And there are parts of it where I'm like, wow, this is, there's something good here. This is like kind of like I leveled up a little bit. And then other parts where I'm like, oh, I don't know how to draw. It's all in there. And the idea is that maybe this would be turned into a print. And if it was, I probably wouldn't have it for the show unless I went and got it printed at a local print shop, which I'm not above. It's happened before. But that wasn't my goal. My goal is to just do it, and then possibly turn it into a pen and ink sketch as an example of a commission, even though I've now spent hours digitally doing it, which might be how I do my commission. I mean, that is how I do my commissions a lot. Which is why I don't like to do them at shows, because then I can't do that. Yeah, I have a lot of anxiety around commissions because people like them. It's a fun thing to have done at a show, but often I'm busy and I can't do it at a show, or I'm there socializing and I can't do it. But even when I'm alone and I have time, there's such an expectation of how good it has to be for the price I'm charging and whatever. And so that's why I put out the feeler of like, hey, maybe I'll do some commissions, but I'll do them ahead of time, because then I can spend as much time as I want. And also, I haven't had a lot of bites, but if I did, my idea was to do like drastically reduced prices from what I normally do to take some of the pressure off there too. At least until I got like into the swing of it. If I started busting them out more regularly and more quickly, then I don't know, we'd see. But anyway, the whole Jet Jaguar thing went totally sideways from when it wanted it to be. Good enough to post up on TikTok as is, but if I'm gonna bring it to print or finished ink, or I'd sell it as a piece of art, I need to adjust a few things, specifically in the feet and legs. Tuesday at 8:45, I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just getting a coffee and going home. There's this cereal milk latte, which is sugary, and I probably shouldn't get it, but I've been trying. I've been better than I used to be. I'm not just eating whole bags of candy. I am still eating whole pizzas. Anyway, I'm getting this and I'm going home. And I'm gonna, I think what I'm gonna mainly do is try to get everything done for the kid party on Thursday, and then do some drawing. And you know what? Every time I try to outline what I'm gonna do, I'm like, oh, I've got like 3 hours and like 40 hours worth of stuff to do. So no matter what choice I make, it's wrong. But any choice of progress is better than inactivity. Yeah, because if you choose not to decide, you've still made a choice. So saith Rush. On a semi-related note, that's going to be the end of this video. It's Tuesday morning. I got to get some stuff done. I'm going to put this out before I go. But yeah, things are going to get wild, so I'm going to be done with this right now. See you next week for the G-Fest video roundup.